I'm your host, Kelly Morgan, indie author and indie publisher. Welcome to another episode of The Author's Mic. Welcome to today's episode. Hey everybody, Kelly here, indie author, and welcome to another episode of The Author's Mic. You guys know it's Monday because on Monday I always have a guest. And today I have children's book author Brooke Auckerman. She's got a children's book series. I just love it when I have people come on and sharing their books. And so, Brooke, I'm so excited that you're here to talk about your book series, the Loretta Owl book series, and just your whole journey on being an author. So welcome.
Thank you for having me.
You are so welcome. So I always like to ask people and get started, like, how did you even become an author? Is it something that you always wanted to do? Did you just kind of stumble upon it? Like, how did you start this journey?
So, I've been writing ever since I was a child. I always was interested in reading and writing, but my mom, when I was going to school, she said that writing wasn't really a job. She wanted me to go for nursing or like something I would get paid for regularly. So I went to college and I tried medical billing and coding. It just wasn't for me. I didn't enjoy it. And then in early 2023, I was working on the first Loretta Owl book, Be Kind. And my mom has a friend that has a publishing company and who's also an indie author. And she sent her what I was working on, and she fell in love with the story. And she decided to sign me as one of the final authors of her publishing company.
Fantastic. So how many books do you have published right now in the Loretta Owl series?
I have four.
Yeah, four. And so tell us the premise of Loretta Owl.
So Loretta Owl started because my great grandmother Loretta, she was everything to me. She taught me how to read and write. And so in 2017, before I graduated high school, she passed away from cancer. And so I wanted to honor her when I was working on my first book. So I named my main character after her because she loved owls. She collected owl trinkets and everything. And Be Kind came about because I was bullied throughout my entire life. It started in kindergarten because of my skin color. Me being biracial, they would call me Pinky and make fun of me for being half white and half black. It was like for some of my peers, I wasn't white enough to fit in, and then for some, I wasn't black enough.
Oh, I can relate.
So that went through all the way through eighth grade, and then I got into high school, and I thought things would get better, but it got worse. The bullying would happen at school, but then I got cyberbullied. And the sad part is I was cyberbullied by people I thought who were my friends. It
Mm.
was my group of friends. And so when I was going through that, there was never a book in the library or the store that I could find that talked about bullying. So that's what inspired me to write Be Kind.
And so, do you have any of the books with you? Can you show us any of them?
Sure. So this is my debut book, Be
Nice.
Kind. And then the second one is Loretta Owl's Big Christmas Wish. And then this is an Autism Awareness Month book, Loretta Owl and the Great Homework Heist. And then this is my recent release. I released this in July, Don't Talk to Strangers.
Who drew the illustrations for you?
My illustrator, as Quill Art, she is from Pakistan.
So, when you were telling her what Loretta Owl looked like, I'm sure when you were making the story, did you have an idea of what Loretta was going to look like? And
I
so,
did.
when you were talking to the illustrator, how difficult was that to explain to her what you wanted Loretta to look like?
So it wasn't really difficult. My publisher put me in touch with three different people. It was Asquil and two other artists, and the other artists were amazing. They just didn't really bring her to life how I imagined her to. And Asqua was the one that took it a step further, actually read my manuscript. And as soon as I saw her Loretta Owl, I fell in love with it.
Fantastic. And so, um, how many series? I mean, you've obviously got four. how many
Mhm.
more right now do you have in the works?
So altogether there's going to be 8 books, so I have 4 more to go.
And then once you finish those four, do you have any other characters that you're going to start books on?
I want to try to write for young adults. I'm working on a neurodivergent romance on top of the Loretta Owl series.
So, do you have a genre, or do you consider yourself a children's book author? Do you consider yourself just an author? Like, what do you, when you say I'm an author, do you put like I'm a children's book author behind it, or what do you say?
I say I'm a children's book author.
And do you think you'll always write children's books?
No, I think I'll venture off and write different genres.
That is so cool. I just love it when I see, you know, you actually wrote the books and you published them and they're out there. And I think that's cool. You've got this whole series. So if people want to connect with you, they want to find you, if they want to learn more about you, how do they do that?
So you could find me on TikTok mostly at Brooke Loves Books 23. I'm always active on there. I also have a Facebook page, author Brooke Auckerman. I have a YouTube channel, Brooke Loves Books 23, and on Instagram, it's Brooke Loves Books 23.
That's so cool, Brooke. So tell me, when you are writing your stories or when you're coming up with the stories, like, do you have a process? I think a lot of people think that you have to have like a process to write a book. And me, I just start writing my thoughts down, and sometimes it just turns into a story, right? What's your process when you write?
So usually I get my ideas from what I experience in real life, and I just get ideas going in my mind and I write them in my journal. So for Don't Talk to Strangers, I use my experience because when I'm not writing, I'm a manager at an amusement park. And there's a lot of parents that drop their kids off that are too young to be alone, and they'll go up to strangers to get inside of the park. So that's how I come up with my ideas.
Very, very cool. And so, because you have a publisher, she helped you figure out like who was going to edit the book and those steps for you.
Correct.
Yeah, that makes things much easier when somebody brings those to you. But when you work with the editor, I'm pretty sure, are you having the final say?
Yes.
Yeah, I would bet. Yeah.
Because there's some times where she will read my work while she's editing and she'll want me to take some parts out. And some I understand why, but then there's some that I'm just like, I can't. I just feel like it makes the story, so I can't take it out.
Yeah. And that's the nice thing about working with an editor where you can say, you know what, I think this keeps the story, but you can also
Mhm.
listen to them and they help make the story a little bit more robust. It's a give and take when you're working with an editor. And I always tell people, I know that that's your baby, but you absolutely must have your
Yes.
your work edited, right? You got to have
Right.
somebody else look at it.
You
I know
do.
it's
Yeah.
hard, because I know the first time I published my book, I tried to self-edit and there were mistakes I stopped seeing.
Hmm.
Right. So yeah, definitely, definitely. So Brooke, what's in having the publisher and having the series, how are you marketing the book? Are you responsible to help promote and market the book too?
Yes, I am. So I market by, I make graphics and I share my work on my social media. I also do videos on YouTube of how my books came to be, and I just vlog my writing journey and share
And
it with everyone.
and then are you doing anything like book signings or, other things to promote? So what other things do you do?
So I've done multiple podcasts. I've been invited to do things in my community. My city had me at the Salute to Santa parade. So I was able to sell my books and talk about it there. I did a book signing at a church where local authors went and we shared our stories. And I went to multiple different schools for Career Day as well.
Fantastic. So again, tell us one more time your website and how we can connect with you.
So you could connect with me on TikTok at Brooke Loves Books 23, Facebook, author Brooke Auckerman, YouTube, Brooke Loves Books 23, and Instagram, Brooke Loves Books 23.
All right, let me give you my laundry list of things before I let you go. So, you guys, if you are an author and you want to share, well, actually, I don't know why I keep saying that. If you are a creative in this space and you want to come share this platform with me, it's really easy. Just go to my website, go to the Be a Guest tab, and boom, you are a guest. You can be just like Brooke. If you are thinking that you want to write a book, but you're kind of stuck, you don't know how, I got you. There's a free guide on my website. It's called So You Want to Write a Book. It's free. Go download it, start your journey. If you want to support me, I've got two books out there. You Sound White and Wait for It. I'll ship them to you at no charge. You got some goodies, but you can get them wherever good books are sold. And lastly, if you are wanting to join a book club, we have one. It's called the Indie Reader Society, the IRS. We're always looking for people to join. We'd love to have you. And if you are an author and you're looking to pitch a book club, why not pitch ours? It's the IRS, the Indie Reader Society. All the information is on the website. So, Brooke, you had said something very interesting when we first started talking, that you had been bullied pretty much all throughout your life, and that's kind of the reason why you wrote the books, and that's how you honor your grandmother and everything. So, if you could give advice to somebody who's maybe been bullied or going through bullying, what advice would you give them to kind of overcome it? I think you overcome it through your writing. I think writing probably really helped you. So what advice would you give to somebody who's maybe finding themselves in a situation like you were?
So I would say definitely tell somebody. That was my first mistake when it was happening. I wasn't telling anybody at home. I just thought it would make it worse. But once my parents found out and they got me into therapy, that really helped me. And also just having a journal, writing down your feelings, that really helps.
And then what advice would you give to somebody who's like, you know what, I got a book. I want to get it out there. What advice would you give to somebody who's maybe trying to take that leap?
I would just say take the leap. You won't regret it. It's going to be difficult. It's not easy to open up to people, but once you do, you're going to feel much better. It's better to get your feelings and everything out than to hold it in.